Within the depths of the mysterious mole of misery lies a franchise dojo closed for the afternoon. Past the sweaty mats where martial artists hone their spirits. Beyond the swaying heavy bags that frame a makeshift device of fiendish import, a secret society assembles to scrutinize those films which are rumored to drive viewers to madness and dissolution. Draw closer, dear listener, let your trembling ears sup upon the eldritch knowledge of the Cinemania Society.
We the fellows of the Lenses Hall do convene to judge if this offering worthy of our esteem, or whether it should be cast down as worthless hokum. Let us don our present judgment.
We the fellows... Oh.
The story so far. Our heroes have devised a cunning plan to spy on their cunning doppelganger counterparts using cunning but mysterious super science, and in completely unrelated matters are looking at cunning but mysterious 1986 super science horror thriller From Beyond, directed by Stuart Gordon. Pathologically strange scientist Jeffrey Coombs is trying to explain to everyone why his deranged experiments turned out to be a bad idea. His psychiatrist and bizarrely buff cop decide to recreate the whole deal to see for themselves. And hijinks ensue. We've seen an alien jellyfish, eels from another dimension, and we've barely started resonating.
Sure was nice of Sensei Steve to let us stay here.
Only when they're not holding classes.
Beggars can't be choosers. What's this place called again?
McDojo.
Really?
Apparently it's a franchise.
Oh, you think? The sign said, over 60 million served. There's no food here. What could they be serving?
Arse whoopings, presumably. And look at this. Sign up for 6 months up front and you get a 20% off and a free white belt. It would be economically foolish not to sign up at these rates.
I think the red G with yellow piping looks pretty cool, if you ask me.
It said gi.
Yeah. What's a gi?
Karate pajamas.
Oh.
Everyone's got an opinion. They're like asses.
Being served.
You, sure Sensei Steve's gonna be okay with, you having blocked up the McDojo front window with tinfoil covered cardboard out there? Cinquisitor.
It'd be manslaughter if he didn't let us, and he knows it. We need to keep in the resonator's resonation and keep out the brain thoughts broadcasting radio of the doppelgangers.
Okay, no more internet for you.
Internet? I heard that on a bootleg audio cassette 30 years ago, and I'm a hero in hell. All of us are.
Oh, boy.
Right, now it's my turn to ask. Are you okay?
I've never been okayer. Keep watch on the doppelgangers. We must be aware of their every movement. Here, take the binoculars. I've wrapped them in tinfoil as well to block out their eyesight television rays.
Yeah, whatever you say, so long as they don't vibrate.
No promises. Someone help me set up the resonator.
I'm not sure this thing is safe.
And I'm sure it isn't safe.
Well, don't just stand there. We must keep conclaving. Who's got the next bit of the summary?
I've got it from here. So Catherine is staring at the resonator and fondling it. Crawford's having nightmares as he sleeps under the ocelot print sheets in the sex dungeon.
Do not shine a black light anywhere in that room.
Wear shoes with lots of grip.
Telling you about me, I'd sooner sleep on the couch.
The day I need tips on sex dungeon etiquette from you lot. Anyway, Catherine throws the switch and starts to breathe heavily and pleasurably, but she's suddenly stricken by a pain in her forehead. Crawford, too, comes awake, an angry red sore pulsing in the middle of his forehead. He runs upstairs to stop the machine because pineal pulsation is one of the known side effects of overdoing the resonation, after all. But Catherine's adamant. She won't turn it off. She's lost in the sensations and only wants to see and feel more. Crawford runs to turn off the switch, but Catherine seizes him and starts making out with him. Crawford, grad student nerd that he is, puts up an admirable level of resistance, given that he is a hot blonde in a see-through nightdress, ardently tongue-spelunking his face, which is to say he resists for 2 whole seconds before he caves and starts giving back as good as he's getting. Unfortunately, they're not alone. Pretorius is back, and he's worse.
Worse? What's worse than a carpenter alert?
Oh, he's so much worse that we're going to have to escalate to alert level Cronenberg. Pretorius's whole right half is changed. What doesn't look like a tumor looks like something that fell out of Cthulhu's nose.
Does Cthulhu have a nose?
It is a nose that is completely outside the understanding of mortal noses.
You mean,
That's right. A nose no one knows.
Pretorius, creepy voyeur that he is, starts to egg them on.
See? That's voyeurism!
But given the condition that his condition is in, his presence isn't exactly an invitation to boogie on down to Squishy Town. Crawford and Catherine are grossed out. They turn towards the resonator, but before anyone can act, Pretorius lassoes Catherine around the neck with one of his slimy members and drags her to him. Crawford's paralyzed with indecision like a nutty little science Hamlet. He knows that if he moves towards the switch, Pretorius might simply snap Catherine's neck, but he doesn't want to stand there and watch her be molested to death either. Pretorius ups the ante by ripping open the bodice of Catherine's nightdress and starts to will his fingers to morph into something else. We did call a full Cronenberg alert, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Crawford bolts downstairs, but inexplicably, the Speedo-clad Bubba springs out and tackles him.
I gotta say, like, with this is these are not consenticles. These are hentai level tentacles we got going on here.
And I don't think Bubba's wearing a Speedo. I think those are just bikini cuts.
He's just that buff that got that much going on. It's just that tight.
They're just like, man.
He has the confidence of a large man with a windowless van.
Does it have free candy spray painted on the side?
No,
I'm a cop,
it's a sign
honest.
written in crayon on a piece of construction paper hastily taped to the side.
I mean, it's inexplicable that Bubba is just ready with a flying tackle, and it's equally inexplicable that he's just charging around with tackle flying. Those Speedos are more an aspiration than a firm commitment, if you know what I mean.
That was a very good.
And to his credit, though, nothing else was firm. So he stayed professional. Even in...
The water was cold. It's shrinkage.
He's been working those weights. Once Crawford explains that he's making for the breaker box to shut down the resonator, Bubba lets him up and they both head for the basement. Unfortunately, said basement is filled with water from beyond, as well as a giant lamprey-mouthed worm thing that looks like a rejected prop from Dune. Meanwhile, in the attic, Catherine demands to know what Pretorius is going to do to her. "I'm going to kiss you," he says, before an insectile alien head bursts out of his face and starts trying to swallow Catherine head first. Some kiss, like the fumbling of an interdimensional insectoid horror nerd.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's having its first time at the prom. Hey, we've all been to the high school disco.
Yep. I mean, I've seen worse kissers.
Back in the basement, Crawford dives for the breaker box but slips on all the worm that's going on and falls into the water. The worm gloms onto Crawford and starts swallowing him head first as well. Bubba tries to pull him out, but the worm thing's stronger by far. Once he realizes Crawford is so up the worm's gob that he can tap dance on tonsils, Bubba stops fucking around and just straight up yanks the power cables out of the breaker box by sheer muscle alone. The resonator shuts down and everything disappears. The worm thing and the water, which means nobody has to worry about electrocution. Thankfully, Pretorius, or the thing he became at any rate, is gone too. Aside from some goo in her hair, Catherine's none the worse for wear.
Well, he didn't promise he wouldn't get any in her hair.
Oh, boy.
50 points for hair. Crawford got it worse. He's got a
at
bright
least he
red
can't get you
sore in the
pregnant.
middle of his forehead. All his hair is mysteriously gone, and his upper body is covered in bruises from the worm thing's lamprey teeth.
Are they bruises or
High
hickeys?
school disco all over again. Ugh.
In a parody of Michelangelo's La Pieta, Bubba picks up the stricken Crawford and carries him off, while a sobbing Catherine starts ripping all the power cables from the base of the resonator. Guess she's all resonated out for one night. Poor thing. Sometime later, Bubba watches as Catherine rubs ointment into Crawford's swords. They're arguing. Bubba realizes the resonator is changing all of them for the worse. Catherine wants to turn the resonator on again, but this time she wants to keep one hand on the switch, and she wants to do it alone. Bubba recognizes the siren song of the junkie because he's been a Speedo-wearing, fitness-crazed beat cop with a penchant for pot roast 10 damn years and knows the signs, man. And Catherine is in denial about it. Pissed off, she tells Bubba to take Crawford and leave. And as a cop, he's only in charge of Crawford. He leaves to pack the windowless panel van.
He didn't mention that Crawford lost all of his hair when he got eaten by that one thing.
We mentioned it.
It's been Matrix stuff.
Okay.
He's gone full Keanu.
Yeah.
Traumatic, though, this...
I'm still curious why they brought so much stuff with them. Did they know they were going to stay the night? Like, did they just steal all this food, or did Bubba pack his own pot roast and dumplings? What's going on?
Bubba don't bub without no pot roast at the end of it.
Right.
Traumatic though this latest spate of experiences may have been, the exposure to trauma, the Resonace's radiation, and or Pretorius' sex dungeon has awakened something in Catherine. She is compelled to explore the furnishings. While Bubba loads the windowless panel van, Catherine slips into one of the bondage outfits there and admires herself in the ceiling-mounted mirrors. Oh yes, there's mirrors on the ceiling. Are you really surprised? She sees Crawford unconscious on the, again, ocelot print sheets and gives him an undersheet handy and an oversheet straddling. The whole scene is about as erotic as Henry Kissinger in a zebra print mankini chanting, "Power is the greatest aphrodisiac."
God.
I'm pretty sure sleeping people can't consent, just FYI.
Bubba walks in on her. She comes onto him, and tempted though he may be, he still shames her for her behavior. Bubba don't bubble for no bondage broad, baby. While this goes on, something is reconnecting power cables and flips the switch. The resonator hums to life. Crawford is still snoozing it off for the moment.
You'd think a leather-clad blonde straddling you would be enough to wake anybody up.
And he pops awake to the sound of resonating because he knows who's trying to recklessly restart the resonator from beyond. The group Scooby gangs it upstairs, but between lightning zaps from the resonator and a swarm of flesh-eating space termites, nobody's able to turn it back off. Bubba pulls out his flashlight and realizes the beam has an effect on the bugs. It drives them away from nibbling on Crawford and Catherine. We've discovered the one thing that insatiable sex creatures from beyond infinity fear: the cops showing up.
Jeez it, boys, it's the fuzz!
Unfortunately, he trips and drops his light, and for some reason being illuminated by its beam causes the entire swarm to descend upon Bubba in a flesh-eating frenzy. He's reduced to skeletal limbs and exposed organs within seconds and dies in agony on the floor. Bye-bye, Bubba. We barely knew you. And to be honest, what we did know wasn't too great.
Except his cooking, it did look pretty good.
Yeah, it did look good.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of boiled dough.
Real carb-heavy cook, yeah. The flesh-hungry space locusts aren't the only thing from beyond. Pretorius is here too, and this time he's mutated into something like a flesh armchair from the Kentucky Fried IKEA.
Okay, we have got to be past alert level Cronenberg by now. Like, I thought that was our highest level. What's higher than that?
We're in uncharted territory. We have to establish a new category. Alert level Gordon Yuzna.
Chanting keys, keys, he lassoes Catherine with a tangle of... I can't say it.
Say it, damn you.
A tangle of what?
Yeah, let's get it detailed.
Yeah. What are they, Andy?
Donglers, beef bludgers, manhandling meat marionettes, a rugby scrum made entirely of greasy wieners, a mobile horde of tentacular nobblers, a merry-go-round of meat horses. I'm talking enough tallywhackers to fill a ship-a-robe.
Ew. Say less.
And he promises that her mind will go into his, the ultimate sensual pleasure. Crawford clutches at his skull in pain as a slimy red flesh finger erupts from the middle of his forehead, his sleeping pineal gland, according to Pretorius, which he has awakened in order to turn Crawford into something that has never existed in the world before. This new organ gives Crawford something like thermal vision, and hypnotized by the sight, he's unable to help Catherine as Pretorius drags her in. Catherine flails and manages to snag a fire extinguisher, which she uses to spray the resonator. The foam causes the machine to short circuit and shut down. Pretorius vanishes, and Crawford falls to the floor. Catherine rushes to his side. I think I need mouthwash.
I think we all need some brain bleach.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hey guys, hold everything. Something's up with the doppelgangers.
Wait. Don't tell me. My power word GERD spelled worked.
Wait, what? What?
Reflux is the burpee killer. It's a real nightmare.
No! They're talking with someone in a uniform, and they're all looking over here.
What? Oh, shit. It's the
cops.
fuzz. Oh, my God.
No.
Do I have anything on me? Oh, no.
Game over, man! Game over!
It's a delivery company uniform.
Okay.
Oh, thank
That's
goodness.
okay.
I'm not sure if that's
Smoke
better.
if you got
I
'em.
think if
Yeah,
the
be
federal
fine.
agents that are ununiformed, those are the ones we need to worry about. Maybe we can get a better idea of what's happening if we turn on my resonator.
I'm pretty sure that's a bad idea. I mean, haven't we just watched like 2/3 of a movie showing us that resonators are a bad idea?
Only because Pretorius and Tillinghast were absolute amateurs.
And what are we?
Tillinghast had an MS. Pretorius had a PhD. What do you have?
Moxie? And a BA in Cinematic Arts and Technology with a dual focus in cinematography and directing. Ha! Beat that.
Ever hear of the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Oh, Dunning, your Kruger. Prepare to resonate.
And there we have it. Violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. You Americans think brute force is the answer to every problem.
Well, of course. It works 60% of the time, every time.
That's not how percentages work.
That's how they work in America, baby.
No, it isn't. Math works the same everywhere.
We've proudly rejected the metric system for more than 200 years.
Along with Liberia and Burma.
Myanmar. It's said Myanmar now.
Oh, right.
Tobago.
Okay, that's part of the West Indies, and it is pronounced Tobago.
Yeah, that's right. It's an island in the Caribbean.
You mean Caribbean?
No, bad.
Witness!
Well, knock it off then.
Can I start my resonator now?
No!
Fine. Joy kills all of you.
All right, I guess I'll take the next bit of the summary here. We go from the attic back to the hospital. Crawford's on an operating table as Dr. Block wields a set of forceps, and Crawford's pineal gland is playing hard to get. Just got to find the little man in the canoe, Doc.
He's got a bigger forehead junk than a Klingon chancellor.
We talking Martok or a full Gowron here?
Not bad, old man.
Probe onwards to proby glory.
Well, she certainly gets something. Guess for Block's efforts, Crawford pops a forehead boner.
Red Rocket!
Block clearly regrets having played just the tip with forceps, and Crawford's forehead dong shrivels back into his head just as a nurse shows up to inform Dr. Block that the police have arrived. But it's not his fault, it was cold in there. Block departs to deal with the fuzz, leaving Crawford to sleep it off. What a dickhead. We next see Dr. Block mid-argument with Detective Fields over whether Catherine's mental state or professional conduct are more compromised.
Both? Both sound good.
Block goes beyond merely shaming Catherine over reckless endangerment of human life to kink-shame her for her choice of wardrobe, pulling aside the blue velvet robe to reveal the studded leather teddy from earlier. And if she'd bothered with the baby powder, maybe she could have slithered out of it. Remember your baby powder out there, guys. Catherine pleads with Detective Fields to destroy the machine, but inexplicably, Detective Fields won't do it. He's more intent on shaming her for her choices. Blah, blah, I listened to you before, blah, blah, cost me one of my best men, blah, blah, blah. Come on, Fields, take responsibility for your own choices, why don't you?
Again, why can't both things be true? He misplaced his trust in Catherine, and he should also destroy the machine. And wait, one of his best men? The guy with the windowless panel van who keeps stopping to make pot roast?
Don't knock it. It takes a lot to make a good pot roast.
Fields remands Catherine into Dr. Block's custody and flounces out. Block orders Catherine into electroshock therapy. The nurse protests. Block is also transgressing guidelines of clinical practice, it would seem. But Block shuts her down. Catherine attempts to flee during the distraction, but a couple of burly orderlies scoop her up and off she goes to electroshock. Meanwhile, Crawford is conscious again. And hungry. He slips into the hall and tries grazing on some leftovers from a patient's tray. But that isn't what's tempting his tummy. His new pineal predator sight leads him to another room a little ways down the hall. There's a brief cross-cut to Catherine, who's being strapped to a table in preparation for brain zappies. She's trying to talk her way out of it, but the fine young sadist of a tech ties a wad of gauze in her mouth. Elsewhere, Dr. Block returns to discover that Crawford has gone walkabout, but she spots a puddle of bloody fluid seeping out from under the door of the pathology lab. She finds Crawford inside doing a... She finds Crawford inside doing a squat and gobble on a bucket of preserved brains. Yum.
Oh, I actually had a real hard time watching that.
After Block kindly asks him to not eat those, they'll make him sick. He tells her they're delicious. Suddenly, he realizes what he's doing, collapses in tearful disgust. Block mines some hidden depth of empathy and tries with whispering hands to gently lead him away, even flow style, when Crawford's moment of lucidity ends and he starts thinking with his little head again. The little head inside his big head. It's thirsting for brains. He pins Block against the locker and begins to suck on her face, pineal gland now fully erect and flailing around. Crawford spits out Block's eyeball on the floor, and with that obstacle removed, he dives in and begins slurping at her brain through the now empty eye socket.
Oh.
Her remaining eye rolls up and she collapses.
Oh.
I found that scene really hard to watch.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing it just like the ancient Egyptians used to do it.
Jesus.
I thought they went through the nose.
Is that any better?
Well,
Sarcasm.
she just couldn't help giving it one last dismissive eye roll, even now.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a prefrontal lobotomy.
What a blockhead.
Who are you, Lucy Van Pelt?
This is nuts. Pineal nuts.
Ugh, stop.
He only wants her for her mind.
Stop. We cut back to the electroshock room where sadistic tech boy has the trigger in hand and is just aching to zap Catherine's brain meats into steaming mush when he suddenly gets blue-balled by the head nurse barging in with a cop in tow.
Did anyone notice how with the shot framed this way, the trigger looks incredibly phallic?
All the sexual references in this film, they're just all so subtle.
Not ham-fisted at all.
No.
Mm-hmm. The nurse orders the tech to just put Catherine back in her room so they can sort all this crap out, and then runs out with the orderlies and the cop. Tech boy starts unstrapping Catherine, who seizes that moment to brain him with the OR light and bail the fuck out. Meanwhile, Crawford is clearly having some regrets, or at least brain digestion. As he staggers out the ambulance loading dock, the remains of his last meal smeared all down the front of his hospital gown like a sick toddler on spaghetti night. He spots Catherine peeling out in Bubba's windowless panel van and calls out to her, but she's too busy saving her own skin to notice him. But Crawford's in luck. Seconds later, an ambulance starts backing into the loading dock. He slips into the shadows and watches as the driver and paramedic unload an elderly drunk. Crawford first ambushes the driver, then the paramedic when she comes looking for her partner. Crawford starts pounding open the paramedic's head on the pavement, but the panicked shrieks of the wino cause Crawford to lose his pineal chub. Now, suddenly cognizant of his behavior, Crawford drops his victim and flees the scene in the ambulance, leaving the wino to wonder whether sobriety might not be all it's cracked up to be.
Valid.
Catherine pulls up to the house on Benevolent Street and goes straight back up to the attic, where there's now a new chalk outline of Bubba's truncated form to match the old chalk outline of Pretorius' headless one. We may never see the chalk outline guys at work, but they are apparently the most ruthlessly efficient branch of this entire homicide squad. We can see Catherine has finally found enough baby powder to ditch the leather teddy in favor of more mundane clothes. But more importantly, she's brought along a time bomb. It's never explained how she has obtained either the thing itself or the skills to build one. You just see she has one and you have to deal with it. It's a good size, too. 8 jumbo-sized sticks of dynamite. She sets it on top of the resonator and sets the timer for 5 minutes.
Well, time bomb making is part of basic psych training.
My dad always said, ain't nothing worth doing that isn't worth overdoing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it was just lying in the back of the windowless panel van.
I mean, would you be surprised?
Just as Catherine's making her escape down the stairs, Crawford pounces on her, drags her into Pretorius' sex dungeon, and shackles her. She resists, but mostly only because of the bomb she's just planted. Any other time, shackles would be very much on the table, where they belong, I guess. Crawford ignores all this bomb talk and professes his love for her, as one does after, 2 days with a...
2 days with a mental professional and resonation.
She's got some resonations about this relationship.
Okay, carry on.
Oh.
No.
Well, After he professes his love, he pops another forehead chub. No longer able to think with his big head, he lunges in toward her eye socket, but she knees him in the nards and chomps down on the shaft of his pineal boner, biting it right the fuck off. You go, girl.
Is that like third base, or?
I think we're, third dimension.
More like the Lorena Bobbitt of sci-fi.
Oh.
Well, something must be thinking all this brain emasculation ain't kosher, because it's reactivating the resonator from beyond. Damage be damned. Crawford is slowly returning to sanity when everything turns electric pink and the cosmic wind starts blowing again. Catherine sees this and asks him for help. She's chained up in a house where there's enough TNT to blow a hole in the world after all. But suddenly, Pretorius is back, mutated even further. He's now the size of an entire flesh corner unit and ottoman, and this time he wants to finish what Crawford left undone. Pretorius seizes Catherine by the neck, wittering on about knowing the desires of another mind is the greatest sensual pleasure in the universe. Meanwhile, waving around his own massive pineal member. Pretty easy to guess what Catherine wants right now, and I don't see "let me go, you freakish flesh furniture" getting him off. But Crawford baits him with a little mockery. Pretorius in his prior form suffered from impotence, and even though he's evolved, he's clearly still extremely insecure about it. He rises to the bait and charges Crawford, who lures him out of the room and down the stairs in a bid to buy time for Catherine to free herself. Pretorius' new form was too big to manage the stairs, so he simply does the sensible thing. He mutates into a massive, armored, bat-like creature which swoops down on the defiant Crawford and proceeds to slurp the man's head straight off his neck.
Damn.
You know, like you do.
You do.
Yeah.
The timer counts down as Catherine thrashes, trying to free herself. The eels from beyond are attracted to the commotion and swim into the room. She wriggles her wrists and the mindless beasts chomp right through the leather cuffs. Pretty neat trick if you can manage it. But she realizes if she tries to flee, she'll be next on the menu. She surreptitiously palms a matchbook from her pocket, lights it, and chucks it into the corner to distract the eels. She flees downstairs only to trip over Crawford's headless corpse. You just know the chalk outline guys are just out of shot, waiting for their moment. Chalk's twitching.
Soon, boys, soon.
Wait for it.
Oh, so fun to do it on the stairs, too.
I really would have loved to see that Keith Haring drawing.
Bat Pretorius blocks Catherine's exit, and the eels are starting to swarm again. She flees back upstairs to the attic through water that's flowing down them from somewhere for some reason. She reaches the resonator and spies there's barely 30 seconds left on the time bomb when Pretorius, restored to his more pedestrian form and cackling like a magpie, seizes her by the ankle and pulls her to the floor. Lucky for her, though, someone pries Pretorius' mouth open from the inside. It's Crawford? He's reborn through Pretorius' mouth and struggles to free himself. The timer continues to count down as Crawford and Pretorius struggle for control over the massive flesh they both somehow inhabit, which rapidly devolves into a squirming, amorphous blob housing a couple of human skulls snapping at each other. The one that's presumably Crawford chomps the arm holding Catherine captive, and freed, she jumps out of the attic window just as the bomb goes off. Falling 3 stories isn't typically great for one's health, as you might expect, and the fall leaves Catherine's legs shattered. Her arms busted up, a couple of ribs bruised, and her hair is a mess.
It's just a shame she's lost her combs.
Nah. I was just thinking it's not a Lovecraft story until someone jumps out a window.
Fair.
Well, no glass or wood shrapnel, no blast wave injuries, nothing spinal. I'd say she got off lucky.
Bunny and her Bichon are at the forefront of a bunch of neighborhood looky-loos who've gathered to watch Catherine bleed out. Bunny leans in and promises to call the hospital. But first, she's just got to know what happened. Critical injuries are never an obstacle to good caring after all. Agonized, shaking, Catherine chokes out, "It ate him!" before alternately screaming and laughing maniacally as we go to credits.
Hey, at least she got the last laugh.
Shh! Delivery guy is headed this way.
How could he possibly know we're at McDojo?
Yeah, it's not like there's a tinfoil covered sheet of cardboard with a peephole that's been stuck in the front window or anything.
He's carrying something.
Surely it must be a bomb.
It looks like some kind of flower. And don't call me Shirley.
But how do we know it's not a bomb?
I know. I'll scan him with my resonator.
Oh, Christ. Don't turn that on.
Too late.
Shows nothing.
Innocence proves nothing.
Wait, since innocence proves nothing and the resonator shows nothing, and since two negatives cancel each other out...
That proves everything.
Again, not how math works, guys.
I know, but I think they might be onto something. Don't doppelgangers always want to terminate the originals? That's like a doppelganger rule, right? I think I heard that somewhere.
Oh, great. Now you two?
Crap, it's run out of power. I knew I should have rigged this thing up to run on something more than just double A's.
It's okay, man. It's not the size that counts.
Sure, buddy. Just keep telling yourself that.
He's at the door. Don't let him in.
Quickly, pelt him with random items. Wound this felon.
Guys, he's carrying a peace lily.
Exactly the kind of thing I'd put a bomb in.
To throw us off the scent. Bombs have scent, right?
Okay, you're all being paranoid. I'm gonna go talk to the guy.
No!
Can I help you?
Hi, I'm Matt with Parcel Pals. I've got a flower delivery from those folks across the way. Oh, look!
Yeah, tape him up!
Get him!
Whoops! All of us stop.
The Cinemania Society was written, produced, and performed by Ethan Ireland, Andy Slack, Daniel Scribner, Hope Bravo, Andrea Palladino, and Zachariah Burks. Editing and sound design by Ethan Ireland. Music by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Incidental music and sound effects courtesy of Epidemic Sound. The Cinemania Society is a work of fiction. Unless otherwise indicated, all the names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents appearing in this audio play are either the product of the author's imagination or are used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living, dead, or living dead, or actual events is purely coincidental and or part of a work of parody that should not be construed as making statements or allegations of actual fact. All celebrity voices are impersonated, unless otherwise stated. The Cinemania Society is available on social media. You can reach us on Facebook, Instagram, or Blue Sky, and our Reddit feed is at r/The Cinemania Society. Or you can just email us at thecinemaniasociety.gmail.com. You, yes, you listening right now, please take a second to drop us a line at any of those places, but particularly at Gmail, because not only are we dying for an excuse to do a listener mail episode, we'd genuinely love to hear from you.